wonderful. It was very easy. Where you explained everything. Troy being the largest university, largest public university, at least in Alabama, having such a huge campus offering undergraduate and masters and MBA program, and they are well accredited. For example, AACSB accredited and other accreditations. And most important is students basically doesn't have to have a lot of documents. They don't have to provide for undergraduate. They don't have to give SAT. They don't have to give ACT. They don't have to give statement of purpose or letter of recommendations. What is needed is the bare minimum document. And your undergraduate students, the GPA requirement is 2.0, which is also good. And you have a 50% scholarship based on merit for undergraduate. And similarly for graduate,
Yeah,
they,
sorry,
yeah,
sorry to interrupt. The best thing is, when we talk about scholarship, when we say up to 50%, students get confused that how easy to get the scholarship to the university. Trust me, as per the Indian credentials, if 60% is the requirement to get the admission, every student above 70% will be getting the scholarship. So it's that easy.
Okay. So if people get 70% or above, there's a good chance of getting around 50% of the scholarship. Am I right?
Right.
Okay. So so when you're talking about undergraduate, you are talking about around $18,000 tuition fee per year, and you are talking about $9,000 scholarship per year. Now you multiply by
Exactly.
4 years, if you're able to maintain the GPA, it's like 36,000 US dollars, which is a huge amount, and it can bring down your cost of education, considerably. Even considering the cost is less, and plus you are able to get 50% of the scholarship, which makes it study abroad quite affordable. Similarly, for
Right.
graduates, you don't have to give GRE, you don't have to give GMAT, you only have one recommendation letter, and that one recommendation letter has to be sent by the school professor directly to the university. That's the
Right.
requirement and the statement of purpose. And as basically Pooja said, the undergraduate and the graduate application, the processing time could be a maximum 3 weeks, within which you should be able to get an admission decision. So that's good, quick turnover time, and quite simple. So let's take some questions now. Let me start with some questions. First question that basically we have is basically 15 years and 16 years. You talked about that foundation year basically the student has to take. The major question, the doubt the student has is, what will it appear on the I-20? Will it appear foundation course or will it appear MBA? What will it appear on the
See,
I-20?
in your I-20, the I-20 would be showing as foundation bachelor's. But that I-20 would be applicable to your master's too. So you will not require to get a separate I-20 for it. So if a
Right.
student is going for PG, the I-20 duration would be 3 years.
Right. So, perfect. Only suggestion is that basically, if you can have it integrated program where basically, you have this combined on the I-20, if it can shown as MBA, it will be easy for the to convey to the visa officer.
Right. That has been already been proposed. And the best part is I have got few professors who are coming to India, especially to understand the market as well. So I am sure once they are here, they will understand how the Indian process works. Things would be as per our requirement, because obviously we have proposed it, and that's the reason they are coming to India to plan things up. Because obviously the academic requirements for India, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka is somewhat different than any other country in the world.
Right. So perfect. So if that happens, then it is easy to convince the visa officer that I'm going for an MBA program, and things for getting visa could be easy, because sometimes the visa is a little tricky and the visa officer doesn't understand why 1 year this program and how this will lead to an MBA program later on.
Right. No, that's a suggestion that I have myself given, and I am sure it has been taken into consideration. Maybe we will hear from the university about it.
Perfect. The second most important thing is students who have IELTS of 5.5 can be accepted for an undergraduate program. And students
Yes.
who have an IELTS of 6 will be accepted for a master's or an MBA program. So the IELTS requirement is also quite good. So, students who feel that basically scoring in IELTS could be difficult. Here you have a university which can accept you on a 5.5 for undergraduate and for a 6 on a graduate program. That makes it easy. GRE, GMAT waiver is available, except I guess biochemistry or biomedical
Biomedical sciences, biochemistry, and biology.
and biology. So other programs, you have the GRE and the GMAT, and they have lots of programs, thousands of programs where basically
Across, if you talk about just the majors, it goes around 225 programs. Then
right,
those programs are available at thesis and non-thesis, both the levels, for UG as well as PG. So student can select how they want to go about it.
perfect. And most important, this 50% scholarship is available across, whether you are applying for undergraduate or for graduate. If you are qualified, then you have a 50%. So your academics should be around 70% approx. If 70% or above, then you have a good chance of getting 50% scholarship, either at undergraduate or at graduate, both level. So thank you, Pooja. Thank you for that, for explaining it very well. The second question basically that everybody has is about placements. How is job placement, whether you have a career service, whether there are companies visiting the campus. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Okay, so talking about Troy University, as it's a regional setup, so obviously Alabama don't have much of job opportunities when you talk about the skill level working system. Now, for that particular reason, we have a career services in Troy University. Now, career services is something which is very common across every US university, but Troy Career Services is a bit different. What they do is they start your profile building the day you reach the university. So they evaluate your profile, understand if you have picked the right program, and based on that, they groom you, they mold you for the job. And wherever there are job fairs and job events are being conducted, Troy University actually helps you out to participate and get the job opportunities and crack the interviews. Other than that, talking about the Troy University, the alumni network is such good that it becomes easy for students to get the jobs through the alumni as well. It's that student needs to be a bit proactive in connecting with people. Other than that, Troy University is the biggest recruiter for Troy students. Now, I have two big living examples. One is Mr. Sohail, who is a vice chancellor for Troy. He graduated from Troy 35 years ago, joined as assistant professor for computer science, working since 35 years in Troy University. Now, second good example, Mr. Ishtiaq from Pakistan joined Troy University as a computer science artificial intelligence student, graduated 2014, since then working as an IT head for Troy. So, when you talk about opportunities, Troy prefers his own students as well. So other than other companies, other big companies who are actually hiring from Troy, you have good opportunities to get hired in your own university as well.
Perfect. What is important is students are now looking for the STEM programs as well. So in your basically presentation, you just told us the programs. Students will be looking at which are those STEM programs. So can you highlight some of the STEM programs to us?
So see, frankly speaking, we don't have all the programs as STEM. So talking about all the computer science programs, it's a STEM program. Biomedical sciences, it's a STEM programs. But if you go about sports management or MBA or psychology, these are all non-STEM options. If you are going for nursing, obviously it's a STEM program.
So all computer science programs are STEM programs, so that's important. And basically, if people are looking for nursing or for biomedical, bioscience, then biochemistry, then these are STEM programs. Perfect.
Exactly.
So, thanks for pointing that out. The next important question is about basically the alumni that you talked about. Okay, you have a strong alumni network. How can a student connect to this alumni? Do you have a portal or something where the students connect to this alumni? How do you arrange this meeting?
Okay, so what happens is whenever student is recruiting or going to the university, every quarterly basis, we keep alumni events in the university. It can be in a form of a gala night. It can be in a form of a homecoming football match or something or the other. Basically, the reason why we are conducting is events to basically welcome the alumni, because obviously, when alumni starts working, they have a very hectic life culture. Maybe they are busy with their own families or the work. So this gives opportunity to alumni to refresh themselves. At the same time, it gives opportunity for our students to connect with them, because obviously whatever the events happening in the university for alumni are managed and conducted by the students.
Okay, perfect. Troy is, in terms of you have 15,000 accommodation for students. So it's a huge accommodation for undergraduate and graduate, and almost international students are given preference. So they would be given first preference for accommodations. And your
Right.
accommodation cost is also reasonable. Now, how is the climate of Troy in terms of basically location and on-campus, off-campus jobs? How is this possible or not possible?
Okay, so see, talking about the climate of Troy University, it comes under subtropical region. So I would say the climate changes would be somewhat like how we have it in the northern India. When it's hot, it's extreme. When it's chilled, it's extreme. But that makes it a tourist place, because when it's fall, people love to come towards this side to see the landscapes. When it is winter, obviously the beaches and the hilly areas becomes snowy, and that is something that attracts tourism. And when I tell any place that attracts tourism, gives you a lot of part-time opportunities, not just in campus but outside the campus too.
Perfect. Most students, what happens is, initially, because first time they are applying for US, they want to connect to some Indian students. Do Troy offers an option whereby they can, prospective students can connect to the students who are studying at Troy campus?
Richard, we do have an option, but I'll be very transparent here, just to be more towards student side. See, if you ask me to connect you with a student, I would obviously pick the best one whose experience is good. Rather, I would say go to LinkedIn, search the students there, connect with them. They will give you their honest opinions. And
Perfect.
that makes it easy for students to decide.
Perfect. Okay. The last thing is basically about the visa process. Visa, at present, it's visa appointment dates are not available. How do you see the scenario in future? Do you think basically things happening easily and, getting visa dates would be available? How do you find that?
Well, see, frankly speaking, the federal government and the British Council both are working towards it, because this is the problem not just for USA but for Canada too. So they are trying to figure out the ways where we can get quick appointments, where we can actually get the quick visas as well. But until they have sorted something out, there is nothing that can be commented on. The best what we can suggest students is start your early applications. Let it be if you're applying to Troy or any other university. If the if you're planning to pursue in fall, start the applications from now. The sooner you apply, see, there are few benefits of applying early to any XYZ university. Obviously, the load of applications are less to the university. So you can expect the decisions coming very quickly. As you are applying early, the chances of scholarships are comparatively high. Of course, when you get the early application, you get enough time to figure out your financials. You get enough time to prepare for your visa interview, because visa interview is the most complicated ones, as you said, because here you are not just giving any SOP, you have to yourself go for the interview and basically counter them. So prepare well, have got into some mock interviews, and then go for the visa. So this way, you will be processing things quite calmly rather than getting hyper about things. Because if everything is cut to cut, then it would be difficult for you as well. And of course, I cannot comment much on the visa, but till that time where we get decisions from the like federal government, it is best to plan things on our own at our level, which can work the best.
Totally, I totally agree with you. It's basically, I always tell my students that you start early, because so that you can apply early. The fundings are also limited. So if you students who have applied early, they are the best ones to get scholarship. Later on, the fundings may not be available. There could be issues, and suppose you are late, the visa process can be delayed and you may miss the intake. There are so many issues. So applying early is the best way, which you have pointed out. Now, my last thing is about the application fee. So is there any waiver available for the students attending this webinar?
Richard, frankly speaking, for right now we don't have any waivers, because the application fee is something which is very nominal, that I believe, because we are charging 40 USD. Ideally, if you talk about any university, the application fees goes around $80 to $120. So we are charging $40. And, we might come up with some application fee waivers, which is the annual thing that happens every year for Troy. So there would be an open house. So as I'll get all the details of the students who attended this webinar, I'll register them for that. So obviously you would be a part of it too. So whenever there are waivers coming up, you will be the first person to come to know about it.
Right. So Troy University comes up with an annual application fee waiver, and they do inform us about that open house when students, they give us 2 or 3 days when student can register, and when the people who have registered for those within those 2 or 3 days gets application fee waiver. So that's good. It's not huge amount, but sometimes basically students do look for those $40. So I just thought about asking it.
No,
Thank
that's
you.
good to ask.
Thank you, Pooja. Thank you basically for explaining all these things, questions, and making it so simple. I am sure basically some of them would be interested to apply, and we will definitely forward those applications to you. Thank you very much.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you, Richard.